for today. So our speaker today is Eric Hellman, and there's something you might not know about Eric. He loves snow. I can get that one. And he is passionate about Christmas. I can get that one too. And that's because Eric grew up in some cold places like Winnipeg, Montreal, and Toronto. So no wonder he loves the white stuff. So let's prepare for meditation with Eric as we sing Gentle with Myself along with Karen Drucker. And after we hear from Eric, Delaney will sing a song she wrote called A Beautiful Sight.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Now I know I am gentle with myself. I am gentle.
So as we enter into our time of meditation, I have to admit it's very difficult to speak after hearing a beautiful song like that. But as you begin to breathe and notice your breath, I invite you to imagine what it's like to be that tender and gentle with yourself. What would it be like in your life, particularly at this time of year that tends to be a little busier, to go only as fast as the safest place in you would be safe to go. Might be hard to remember, but see if occasionally it'll come to mind today, tomorrow, and in the coming weeks as we approach this most unusual of Christmases. And take another breath. Feel yourself beginning to relax into your chair and into your body. Perhaps you might feel a tingling in your hands, tingling in your feet, a warmth or a coolness. And somehow inside a deeper presence of you. Take another breath and begin to feel your energy begin to fall from your upper part of your body, perhaps your head and shoulders, as you begin to unwind and relax your shoulders, your arms, your torso. Feel that energy running down you through your seat into the chair and through your legs, down through your knees, your shins, your ankles, and your feet into the floor. I will be easy on myself. I will be tender with myself. I will be gentle with myself. Help me, Spirit, help me, God, to be that loving and gentle with myself as I take some time to just be silent for a few moments. Now, as you hear my voice again, begin to allow yourself to come back into your room, into your body, into the awareness of sounds or sights in your room and on the computer, or wherever, however you're tuning in here today. Begin to feel yourself, your vital energy becoming back. Perhaps move your fingers and your toes, stretch your shoulders and your arms, and just feel yourself coming back into the room. And we'll see if Karen has any more to sing to us in the remainder of this song. And I will only go as fast as the safest part of me, the most tender part of me is safe to go. I will be gentle with myself today. So as I begin my talk today, I'd like you to think about this question. As you look out on this wintry scene, as Pixie said, I love the snow and I also love the light. How will hope, faith, and peace shape your Christmas this year? Think about it. As Pixie described, we're into the second Sunday of Advent. And I always feel like Advent needs an explanation. I don't know about the rest of you, but for me it does at times. And so I decided to look in a root word dictionary. Advent has two parts. Ad means to, and this is in Latin, and vent means come. And so this is about the coming of any season, the advent of any season, but in this case, we're talking about the coming of Christmas. It's a time of getting ready. And you'll hear Advent sprinkled, as I have recently, on the television and other people's phrasing, because most of the time it's meant to be about that Christmas preparation checklist that some of us have. And this one was particularly spoke to me as I looked online, that somebody has it down to 8 weeks, 7 weeks, the countdown to Christmas, and all of the things that need to be due. Imagine us being that ordered or structured towards Christmas. Some of you will leap at the great idea, and others will go, oh my God, I would want anything but that. Sometimes Advent is about the outer preparation, which we all have to do. But in Unity, it's more about the inner preparation. And here's a graphic I saw online which said, let every heart prepare. And I thought, those words are familiar. And I started to listen inside, and what came to me was, let every heart prepare him room. And you might remember that's from the song that Delaney just did, Joy to the World. One of the things I recognized listening to Christmas carols and tunes is they're all embedded with the thoughts of preparing and opening ourselves to the season and to Christmas. What I'd like to particularly do in this second Sunday is to focus on the two candles that we've lit so far, the first candle of hope and faith, and the second candle of peace, and explore how those can help us shape our Christmas. So where do we begin? Well, what I realized in preparing for this is that many of us have inner pictures of Christmas. For example, some of us have that snowy house in the country, the snow gently falling and the tree lit with beautiful lights. And maybe those pictures come from the songs we've heard, like White Christmas, or movies we've seen like Holiday Inn with Bing Crosby, that have given us these pictures. I don't know where they come from, but they're very deeply embedded in many of our hearts and minds and souls. We also have pictures like this one from Norman Rockwell, which is called The Homecoming. A young man arriving with luggage and gifts to a family back in the 1950s sometime. So grateful to see him come. Perhaps another iconic image of a family at the Christmas table with a turkey and celebrating our presence together. This one's called Freedom from Want. Some of these pictures, again, are deeply embedded in our inner pictures of Christmas. I'd like you to think of your own inner pictures of what Christmas has meant to you over the years and how you look forward to certain things each year at this time. And now I want to throw you a little bit of a curve. How does it feel to not be able to have those traditional things this year? Some of you might feel a catching in your breath or a little pit in your stomach. What I'd like you to do is just let them in, whatever the images are, whatever the feelings are, and be present to them, because this Christmas is about seeing some of those, feeling some of those, and knowing that some won't be possible. And I invite you to take a breath and to take time during this service, this day, and the coming weeks to find ways to come to peace with those images and feelings that will be different this year. I'd also invite you to ask yourself this question: would I be willing to let those go this year? Would I be willing to do things differently this Christmas? Because that's what this Christmas is going to be all about. We all need to do things differently this year. Even this guy, Santa and his red and white mask, we just have to do things differently. And you know, I even heard a report that Santa and his reindeer need to socially distance this year. Well, but of course, for those reindeer who have been in the same bubble, they can still be side by side, but everything's up for grabs this year. So where do we go from there? Another question. What would I like to experience at Christmas this year? Ask yourself, what would I like to experience? Like, another word might be wishing. Another word might be hoping. Maybe you're asking inside for joy, for awe, for connection or closeness or love, that would be what you want in your heart of hearts. Or maybe it's that simple word, peace. Part of our mind may say to those words, but that's not possible this year. Those just aren't possible. And the reason we say that is because our normal activities aren't possible. One of my normal activities is getting together with people to do caroling at this time of year, but I won't be able to do that. Maybe one of your activities is getting together with a close or extended family, and you may not be able to do that this year. And again, a little choke in the breath may come up. Yet part of the Advent preparation is recognizing that joy and awe and love and peace are inner qualities. They're not just dependent on the outer. And that as we begin to imagine how to have those joy, awe, love, peace experiences, hope begins to grow. Just like lighting that candle of hope begins to bring light into our awareness, hope can begin to grow. Then as ideas start to come to us about what we can actually do, hope turns into belief, little by little by little. New possibilities start to come into our minds, and then as we act on them, come into our world. And then we begin to have faith that these new possibilities are actually possible. And that's why hope and faith are so intimately connected. So what's peace got to do with it? Well, for me, peace, both through my Course in Miracles training and through Unity, peace is described essentially as a doorway to the divine. The reason for that is that the state of peace is the true state of our Christ mind, our God self, our spiritual nature. Our human mind is a mind in conflict. It's always, should I do this? Should I do that? Good, bad, right, wrong. Peace is the presence of the divine in us. Peace is also an energy, a presence that we can give out anywhere we go during this season. We can literally bring the consciousness and presence of peace to the people we meet. And perhaps most importantly for this talk, peace opens us up to divine ideas. As we are quiet within, those truer, more powerful ideas come to an open mind. That song that we heard at the beginning, "Do you hear what I hear?" It's a song about the coming of the Christ child for sure, but it's also a song about Advent preparation. Do you hear what I hear? Do you see what I see? Do you know what I know? This is the inner self, the Christ, the Spirit in us saying, if you will listen and see, you will know more about the presence and what to do this year. So naturally, our next question is, so what can I actually do this year, God, or whatever words you use? Well, what would you love, what do you love to do at Christmas? There's an easier answer or question to ask, perhaps, because the answers might be something like decorating or shopping. I'm sure there's no shoppers in this crowd, but I mentioned it anyway. Do you like making things? Do you like to cook? Do you like to visit with people? Do you like to make music? I know there's a few in our crowd who are passionate about that. Well, again, the thought may come, but I can't do that this year. Well, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe they can be done in different ways. So I'd like you to begin to imagine how you could still do some of those. How could you do some of the things you love to do this year? The COVID Christmas. I invite you to still your thoughts, to open up your intuitive mind and your heart, and let that deeper part of you send out those questions to your larger mind, to the world, to the spirit, about how those might be possible. And I'm going to offer you some ideas here today to see which ones resonate for you. Could you perhaps cook or buy something and deliver it to somebody's door? Could you call someone you haven't spoken with in some time? Could you go to someone's home and talk with them? Of course, 6.562 feet away. That's actually 2 meters, but I just wanted to give you the fact that we have to be a little distant this year, but we can still do it. Or maybe you want to go to somebody's home and sing and play for them, like we saw in last week's video, Flash Mob. Could you perhaps send a unique email greeting this year where you combine text and photos? Could you include a musical greeting of one of your most favorite pieces of music on YouTube with a link? Could you share stories you love, perhaps online or through photocopying and actually sending real Christmas cards to a few people this year? Might be a little different for some of us who are so email oriented these days. Now, what about these ideas? What about talking with somebody on Skype, FaceTime, or Zoom who you don't normally talk with online? What about, if you're not so really literate on technology to do that, getting somebody's help with that, reaching out and asking for help so somebody else can give that gift to you? Or maybe you have the technical skills and could help do that with somebody who's shut in somewhere or who doesn't know how to do it. Here's another option. Could you perhaps pick somebody in your life that you really care about and tell them what you've always wanted to say to them? A bit of a risk perhaps, but That's part of the radical trust and faith that this year is calling us to. What would it be like to buy food or gifts and simply give them away? Drop off packages at strangers' homes with a little note that says, your neighbor just wants to know that you're cared about and loved. What about preparing gifts bag for people in seniors' homes and dropping them off? What about buying things you love, food or toys, and giving them to a food bank or a shelter? There's so many ways we can give in non-traditional ways, but that still bring those qualities of joy and awe and love and peace to our hearts. I hope with those ideas that you're starting to get some inner pictures of the presents or gifts or ways that you can show up this year in different ways and do a different Christmas, one no less precious, but very different in form than what you might have done in previous years. Now I invite you to go to another level of giving. And I'd like to use these ideas. What would you like to support this year? Is there a musician, an artist, a theater company, or somebody else that perhaps has had a difficult year of revenues this past year and you'd like to give them a gift to help them know that there is love and support in the world? Perhaps taking time to send out your prayers this year will become more of a focus. Pick people, maybe each day in the Unity White Rock community, that you can send a warm balm of love to as you think about them. Perhaps distant family members you can wrap in your arms of love. People hurting from COVID anywhere, locally or globally. By sending out your peace and healing this year, you make it not just a personal Christmas, but a Christmas of holding the entire world. Each time you send out that love, peace, and healing, you touch all of humanity and all species. At least that's my belief. How could you use this year to have fun, delight someone, feel inspired, and even be outrageous, but of course in ways that are appropriate for the people you want to be outrageous with? These, I don't know what to call them, gift bags, stockings, underwear. I don't know what these pictures are, but for me, they were a little bit of the outrageousness coming out in someone. So as we begin to bring these together, I invite you to consider the question, why is Christmas important to you? And I'd like to allow this picture of a star to take you to that more deep and distant place inside. Why is Christmas important to you? Is it that it's a kinder, gentler time of year? Is it because it's a time when we sort of give ourselves permission to bring the light and love and warmth into the world in overt ways? Is it because you see and feel and hear people expressing love and caring for each other? That certainly touches me as I hear it in grocery stores and elevators and malls or wherever. Is it that you let your own fun or playfulness out more? Or is Christmas really just about the idea that miracles really seem possible at this time of year? Suppose we were to connect those deeper ideas to these questions. Once again, what do you hope for in your heart of hearts this Christmas? What would you like to experience? And one more breath, what would you like to create for others? Hold all of those thoughts, those images, those aspirations in your heart, and then say to your higher holy self, I want those. Help me to do those this year. What would you have me do for myself and others that would bring that richness into my Christmas and others this year? What I'm really inviting you to do in this is to commune with the spirit of Christmas, whatever that means to you, to be one as often as possible with that place inside where anything is possible, where you feel your hopes rise, just like a candle flame in your heart, that where you begin to believe in the ideas that come to you and take action on those to see what you can do differently and how you can bring those qualities of hope and faith and peace into the world, and then trust that something larger will be there to help you in very practical ways. That's what faith is about. And then begin to notice over the next month the moments that touch you. You see, Christmas isn't just a day. It's not just about a white Christmas, but there will be moments when you watch a movie like that or hear the song that remind you of the presence of the divine. Or maybe you're looking out on Christmas lights like I do on the Stanley Park Lost Lagoon, where I see this tree lit up each year. Or maybe it'll be a spontaneous moment like my mother and I had going to Iona Spit off the airport land, looking out on Georgia Strait and arriving just at the moments when the snow geese take flight. What will be the moments this year for you over the next 30 days or more? Will they be moments of laughter? Will they be moments of tenderness? Will they be moments of healing or moments of grace? You see, Christmas isn't meant to just be these big moments that Norman Rockwell pictured in his pictures. And it's not just one day. Christmas is the whole season, from today of the Feast of St. Nicholas through Yule and through Hanukkah and solstice, Christmas to Epiphany in January. It's a whole season where you can begin to experience moments of the divine presence, the Christ self, the giving birth to the light that we all aspire to in our world. So with that, I hope you have one of the most amazing, unexpected, beautiful, healing, and holy Christmas seasons that you have ever had. So with that thought, I invite you to turn within just for a moment and let some of the words that I've spoken, the images that have come up to mind for you, the aspirations of your heart that have spoken to you, let some of those begin to take root as you breathe and you send out a little prayer for peace. A prayer that says, God, that's the Christmas I want this year. How will that be possible? Guide me, please. Show me the way that I may create this kind of Christmas in my life and in our world this year. And with that, I turn it back over to the beautiful, radiant, and inspiring Delaney Rose. And we'll allow Delaney to come back with camera and voice and give another song.
Twinkle lights are calling me tonight. Jingle bells are ringing, what a beautiful sight. For unto us a child is born. And Mary is beckoning me, she's beckoning me tonight. To come see the manger, what a beautiful sight. For unto us a child is born. Emmanuel, the Savior has come. The shepherds are leading me, they're leading me tonight. To come see Jesus, what a beautiful sight. For unto us a child is born. Emmanuel, the Savior has come. Emmanuel, Jesus has come. Christmas is calling me, it's calling me tonight.
Thank you so much, Delaney, for that inspiring song and all your inspiring songs. And Eric, your message was absolutely enlightening, exactly what we need to take into our hearts and let that guide us.